Welcome to MCpodcast, aka Metaculture, and in today's episode, we're going to be going over the top 10 best storytelling animes out there. We fought tooth and nail, honestly, to figure out the top 10. There's some bangers in this list for sure, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we're going to start off strong with number 10, Gurren Lagann. This is a show that takes a very humble beginning and a simple story and just puts you on a journey and puts you on a huge adventure. This show is always pushing the message to never give up, and always, it just invokes just an overwhelming feeling that just makes you want to push through and keep going forward. And the whole cast is just super amazing. All in all, just a great show, beautiful animation, great progression throughout the whole show. We may have some questions towards the end, but all in all, just a great show. This is one of the ones I recommend for you guys to watch.
Next one on this list is Parasite. This is another really good coming of age story where the main character starts off wimpy, but through certain events and scenarios and things that happen, changes again. And it's like really life. You change, you have multiple changes, you have to learn how to compromise and gain perspectives. And that's what the main thing of Parasite was learning how to compromise and change your perspective and not stay rigid in your ways. That's ultimately what it was. And obviously it talks about the circle of life and how things are and how whatnot, nature and shit like that. It has a supernatural twist to it. It's definitely a really good show to watch, but it's definitely a really good coming of age story where the main character changes his perspective multiple times and learns how to really be comfortable with his own self and his own skin. Number 8 on this list is Steins Gate. It's a supernatural time travel anime. Its anime starts off really slow, but once it gets moving, it is moving and grooving. The main character has to make many difficult decisions, and ultimately he has to figure out ways to get back to the right timeline, basically making things right. Other than that, if not, he is going to fail, and certain circumstances will happen where he loses the people he loves. And this show really does a great job at basically not staying comfortable and compromising with yourself, because the main character at some point does try to stay comfortable, and that has a whole nother tangent of basically a what if, or what happens if he actually does stay comfortable with a current situation that he's in. And ultimately, this anime is a really good show. It's going to be a really good journey. It brings you along, and obviously it just has a great togetherness of friendship and mystery. So check out Steins Gate. At number 7 is Made in Abyss. This anime truly, I think is going to be one of the most anxious and anxiety-filling animes you're ever going to go through, because it's two kids. They're general kids, and the animation and the drawing, stuff like that, it does make you look make the kids very childlike, very innocent. But the things they go through as they enter the abyss, each floor has a different, unique environment or scenario that affects the individual. As you go down the abyss, there's certain things that can happen to you, and it gets worse and worse each time. And as these two kids go through the abyss, they face many encounters where they face people, very questionable people who have very different thinkings and honestly are borderline terrible people. But this show not only brings you on a journey of how these two kids barely survive each floor each and every time, but also he has to be understanding and kind of understand how each and every one of these people have come to these conclusions and decided to do what they did. So this is a really good anime. Definitely check out Made in Abyss. Super underrated. Number 6 on this list, Cyberpunk Edge Runner. This anime does the best job at showing how how having no parental figure and joining a life of crime and gang related shit, how it really could end for you. And this anime does a really good job. Obviously, it has a supernatural and cyberpunk-esque type of feel to it. but it does a really, really good job at emphasizing what the end of that gang lifestyle is. And at the end of the day, it really makes it show that it's not worth it, and ultimately, be ready for your heart to be ripped out. It's a 10-episode anime that somehow does a great job at ripping your heart out and make you feel like shit at the end of it. Great story, though. Amazing.
Next on this list is Death Note, and this is another banger on this list. It's just a great show in terms of the storytelling in a way where you're kind of put in this place where you have this ability to have basically any decision in somebody's life, and sometimes it's for the right reasons and sometimes it's for the wrong reasons. And it follows a guy named Light Yagami, and it kind of transpires of how he kind of, each decision he makes and each move he makes to better the world or better whatever circumstance, kind of just weighs on his conscience and his being, and he kind of regresses into somebody who's kind of just trying to cover his footprints and just using it as a tool to take away things that are hindrance to him, rather than using it for what he initially started as. And this show does just a really good depiction of what would happen if anybody was really put in that place, making those types of decisions. The characters they add are really cool, and I think they add a lot to what the plot has going on. But next on this list is Code Geass, which is number 4. I know it's high on this list, but all in all, this show does a great kind of depiction of somebody who's given power to use it as leverage to get into a better spot and put the people they love into a better spot. And this show is all about that. It's all about, I think, self-sacrifice. This show does a great job in showing that, it's about making the world a better place. With or without you in it, even if you have to do something for that. And basically, the main character's name is Lelouch, and he gets this power that allows him to give one command to anybody and have them forget. And he uses this as leverage to try to fight back against the government that's been repressing people that have been bad and that are just need to be kind of casted out because they've been in power for so long. But this show puts you on a journey between many characters. There's conflictions, there's back and forth, there's a lot going on in this, but I guarantee you will enjoy every moment of it. This is definitely one I recommend, especially for the storytelling. There's just so much to be involved with this show, but I recommend it. Next on this list is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Out of everything on this list, I think this makes me feel like almost the happiest while I watch it, in a sense where you kind of feel like there's a very serious undertone in the background, but you have these two brothers who are working towards a goal to reverse what they did when they were younger. But this show takes you step by step, and it feels like everything is planned out every step of the way in terms of how natural it happens, and also how much those characters influence and kind of alter the main characters' mindsets. And it really challenges the two to really see what's on the inside and what you need to be to become better, and they found out the answer towards the end. And this show was a masterpiece, to say the least. Everything was just amazing. Twists and turns, plot twist, everything was there. The action, the animation, and just the homely feeling of just watching two brothers go on an adventure too. This show is amazing. It's definitely high up there on the list for a reason. You should watch it if you haven't.
And at number 2 on this list, debatably number 1, but honestly 4 through 1, honestly you can put them in any order. But number 2 on this list is Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga has one of the best storytelling. It's one of the best storytelling animes. I think it's the best story currently right now. And I can definitely say for sure, Vinland Saga takes the message from the Bible when Jesus says, "Love your enemies as you love yourself," and truly challenges you through the story to can you do what Thorfinn eventually had to learn how to do. And it challenges you all throughout when Thorfinn is put into a position where he legitimately has a realistic reason to be absolutely angry and to hold a grudge for his whole life and follow a path that honestly isn't great, and we've seen that just leads to nothing but bloodshed and ultimately his own death. But he kind of has to learn how to follow and understand what his father once told him when he was younger, that he has no enemies. And it's a journey of him coming to that realization of what having no enemies is, and becoming a true warrior like his father has once said. And this anime does a great job at really forcing you to look into with yourself, or the things that you're holding on to against other people, or just in general being angry at life, learning how to let go and really follow that message of I have no enemies.
Next on this list, we got AOT, and now this is the GOAT. We put this at number 1 for a reason. This show we've grown up watching this show, and it's gone in stages, and you feel different things through each seasons, but this show does a great job at starting and kind of putting you in this place where you feel like you're in this cage, and then of course you break out of the cage and there's an even a bigger cage, and it kind of keeps building as that essence. And at the end of that journey, he finds out that to get out of the cage, he has to basically break out of it and destroy everything with it. And it's all about kind of Aaron coming to terms with having to do what he has to do throughout this show. No other course of action he could have taken would have been able to change what the outcome was, for everything to work out the way it did. But this show there's every single scene holds matter. Every single part holds some type of foreshadowing to what's going to happen later on. And this show, all in all, just takes you on a journey and adventure on so many different ups and downs. It's just all in all just an amazing show. And we take it because it's all encompassing, kind of lessons you've learned throughout the show. Not just one single message. It kind of shows you how each part of life has its own challenges and working through it. But AOT number 1, hands up to that.
Yeah, AOT is definitely an anime that tells you about making the tough decisions. Aaron was right too, 100%. He should have went all the way too. I'm gonna cut that out. I don't want to make you seem like I'm crazy. Alright, anyways, this is our list of animes. This is our list of the top 10 best animes, the best stories. This is the only correct list. It was tough. We argued for a minute, but we came down to this list. Make sure you leave a like, you comment, subscribe. Leave down below what you thought was, or what you currently think is the best storytelling anime. Anyways, MC Podcast signing out. Stay meta culture, people. Peace.